Hello, my name is Bob Cox, and this is Cox Notes. Now, Cox Notes doesn't really have a theme. I simply see something or hear something and decide that it may be interesting to other people other than myself. And it's when I see certain things, they spark an interest in me to tell a story. And if I think that that story is something that other people will be interested in, then I put it together in some little bit of a video or something and share it. And I hope this serves as that purpose to kind of spark a little interest and maybe provide just a little bit of a bridge between yesteryear and today and do it with a little bit of fun. Back in 1955, Charles Helke, and I hope I'm saying that correctly, he was the editor of Colorado Outdoors magazine, which is the official magazine of what is known today as the Colorado Parks and Wildlife, what was known then as the Department of Game and Fish in Colorado. Now, Helke was more than just an editor. He was also a very accomplished illustration person and a cartoonist, if you will. And he put together several pamphlets for the Game and Fish Department to be used in public relations and training. And they were done in such a way as they were made for free distribution to the public. And one of those works is Wildlife Willie. I happen to have a copy of Wildlife Willie here, and this is what I'm going to talk about today is this copy of Wildlife Willie and the illustrations that are within that. In 42 years of teaching the hunter education program, I started out basing a lot of my class presentations on Wildlife Willie. And I think that just about everyone that went through the Colorado Game and Fish, what was known as hunter safety back then, probably received a copy of Wildlife Willie. Today I'm going to go through that pamphlet and make a few comments and provide some information that for the most part is as relevant today as it was back in the mid 1950s. There were about 51 pages in that pamphlet today. I skipped over some of them that did not have much relevance to today's outdoor person, or they depicted laws and regulations that have long since been repealed or replaced. So I hope you'll take a look at this and have a little fun with it as I have, and it gives me a chance to remember the efforts that Charles Helke made. So here goes. First, let's visit Wildlife Willie with some basic firearm safety stuff. For years, I have preached that if we treat every gun as if it is loaded, the rest of the rules will just fall into place. Willie reminds us to keep our finger out of the trigger guard until we're ready to shoot. Now, I'm not going to get into home defense discussion, but for the most part, for the sportsman, when you come home or when you get in your vehicle, unload the gun. It's that simple. It's just a good idea to make sure that your guns are unloaded and you don't carry loaded guns in a vehicle. As outdoor sportsmen, we must realize that the concept of fair chase is important. And not only is it unsportsmanlike to chase wildlife from an ATV or other vehicle, it's against the law. Willie points out something that seems on its surface to be a little ridiculous here, but we have seen over the years that people actually do take sound shots. They shoot into brush. They actually do mistake a person for game. They accidentally, in one case, even mistook a boy on a motorbike for an elk. It's not ridiculous. We have to pay attention to these kind of things. Here, Willie points out something that's not only unsafe, but is illegal. Shooting from or across a road, and especially across the road, is extremely unsafe. And while I'm at this, check with the laws, become familiar, and stay up to date with them. This is a real common mistake that the people handling firearms make. Always carry your gun so that you can control the direction of the muzzle, even if you stumble. And this is especially important. Now, Willie's here with a rifle, but it's especially important with a handgun, who has a shorter barrel and can be waved around carelessly without much thought if you don't pay attention. Let's give Willie a rest for a minute and talk about a few other things, then we'll get back to Willie. I want to talk right now about ethics and doing the right thing. In today's world, where it seems like every lawmaker in a country is trying to punish the lawful gun owner because of the acts of a few, I'm going to just call them weirdos, it's very important for us to be ethical and do the right thing. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go on. Meanwhile, we'll get back to Willie for a few ethics. Now here's something that really torques my jaws. People that like to shoot up road signs and direction signs and what have you. These people are not sportsmen, they're vandals, and they should be treated as such. Now Willie is using fishermen in several of these examples that I like to put forth under the topic of ethics and behavior. But it doesn't matter whether you're fishing, hunting, camping, boating, four-wheeling. I don't care. If you're ethical, it gives the people that are against our ideals less of a chance to attack us. Be ethical. Do what's right. Clean up your messes. Don't leave a bunch of trash behind. Don't give anybody a reason to badmouth the sportsman. Here's something that sportsmen often forget. Share your bag, especially with the landowner. If that man or woman gave you permission to hunt or fish on their property, they're likely off doing the chores and taking care of their cattle and taking care of their crops. And they might not have the opportunity to go catch a fish or go hunting. And when they give you the right to do that on your property, offer them a little piece of your bag. Give them a fish or two. Send them a steak. Invite them to dinner. Do something like that to let them know that their permission is appreciated. Here again is ethics mixed with law. A good sportsman takes only his share. There are reasons for bag limits and big game tags and all that stuff. And to do the right thing, you take only your share. Remember, the law requires that you get permission before going on another person's land. Trespassing is against the law, but it's also very unethical. You're not doing the right thing if you don't respect the property rights of others. And it gives the anti-hunters and others like them a way of ridiculing you. So do the right thing. Ask before you go. So that's my little visit with Wildlife Willie. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Until next time.